Hello and namaste everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I have Samsung's latest premium mid-range phone, the Galaxy A53 with me. So far, Samsung has launched 4 phones in the A series this year: the Galaxy A23, A33, A53 and the Galaxy A73. Here, the A23 is the least expensive phone among the 4, while the A73 is the most expensive one. As for the Galaxy A53, it is currently available for pre-booking in the US for some $450, but Samsung is also throwing in a pair of Buds Live worth around $150 for free as a part of the pre-booking deal. In the South Asian market, we can expect it to be a little cheaper given the amount of competition we have in the mid-range segment. I expect the base 128GB variant of the A53 to be around 30,000 rupees in India, whereas the 128GB variant should cost around 32,000 Indian rupees. But the actual MRP could be a little higher given Samsung's history of overpricing their A series of phones. Anyway, the Galaxy A53 is one of the first mid-range phones from Samsung that skips a charger inside the box. Here, just like the company's flagship phones, all you get is some paperwork, a SIM ejector tool, and a Type-C to Type-C cable inside the box. And that's about it. You'll have to buy this 25-watt charger separately, which costs $20 or some 13,000 rupees in India. So with all this considered, I seriously think that Samsung has got to go easy when pricing this phone. With that out of the way, let's talk about the phone itself. I have been using the Galaxy A53 for a day or so, and I can instantly notice the same DNA here that we saw on last year's Galaxy A52 and A52s. Even if you look at the spec sheets side by side, the A53 does not necessarily bring any major upgrades. So Samsung's formula here is basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I do see some quality of life improvements here. Starting with the design, although its overall dimension and weight are exactly the same as last year's Galaxy A52, Samsung has included a bigger 5000 mAh battery this time versus the 4500 mAh battery on its predecessor. Plus, A53's plastic bag feels more premium compared to previous models as well. I think they've used different kind of polycarbonate material which feels of much better quality. And just like last year, I like this phone's overall heft and weight distribution as well. It does not feel too big to hold, so you will enjoy typing on this thing even with one hand. I also love this new peach color variant, but you can also choose between black, white and blue finishes. But yeah, this peach color looks quite attractive and unique if you ask me. And regardless of which color variant you end up going for, the Galaxy A53 gets IP67 dust and waterproofing. And it seems like Samsung is so into this feature that they have included it on the cheaper Galaxy A33 as well. Up front, the display also remains the same with a 6.5 inches Super AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10 Plus support, and Gorilla Glass 5 protection. And here too, I feel like the actual quality of the display is better than last year. Seems that Samsung has used a slightly better AMOLED panel with the Galaxy A53. As you guys might know, I am using the Galaxy S22 Ultra right now as my primary phone. And what's great about the A53 is that Samsung has used the similar color science of its flagship phones on their cheaper models too. And since we've been testing a lot of mid-range phones from Xiaomi, Realme and OnePlus in the past couple of weeks, I can instantly tell that the Galaxy A53's display is just better in every possible way. Sadly, Samsung has removed the headphone jack this time, which was present on last year's A series phones, but you do get a stereo speaker here. Alright, the biggest change the Galaxy A53 brings is in the internals. There's a new in-house Samsung-made Exynos 1280 chip, which is built on an energy-efficient 5nm fabrication process node. It features 2 Cortex A78 CPU cores clocked at 2.4 GHz and 6 Cortex A55 CPU cores clocked at 2 GHz, alongside the Mali G68 GPU with 4 cores clocked at 1 GHz. Looking at the benchmark tests I ran, the Exynos 1280 looks very similar to the Dimensity 920 and the Snapdragon 778G. So it's a pretty capable chipset, yes, but if you want pure performance over everything else, Samsung's mid-range phones are not the best options. You will easily get phones with Dimensity 1200 at a lower price, while OnePlus is also launching the OnePlus Nord 3 with Dimensity 8100 pretty soon. The iQOO 9 SE is another phone that's priced similar to the Galaxy A53 but comes with a much more powerful Snapdragon 888 chipset. In my brief time with the phone, I found it to be plenty fluid, where animations render well and the UI is enjoyable to navigate to. I also did not notice the phone getting warm, so that is a positive sign as well. As for gaming, I've only had a few sessions of PUBG Mobile so far, but I'm a little disappointed to see that the max setting that you can go here is HD graphics and high frame rates only. That's basically 30 to 35 FPS on average and nothing more. But since it's a pretty new chipset, a software update should certainly be on the cards, which should improve the overall performance. Fingers crossed. And talking of software updates, Samsung has promised 4 years of OS and 5 years of security updates on the Galaxy A53, while this thing runs on the latest Android 12 straight out of the box. So this is just an insane level of software commitment, which is unheard of on a mid-range phone. Okay, time to talk about its cameras, and this is where the Galaxy A53 wins big time against any other mid-range phones you can find right now. We get a familiar looking curved sloped camera cutout here that houses a quad camera array with a 64 megapixel primary lens equipped with OIS, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and two 5 megapixel depth and macro sensors. I have captured over 50 photos with this phone in less than 24 hours and I really like them. During daytime, you get well-detailed, sharp images with the classic Samsung color optimization. The HDR processing is good and the whites are balanced as well. The 12 megapixel ultra wide camera is also a class above what other brands manage. It has a wider field of view and much better details than the one from other mid-range phones that usually settle with an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. Even the portraits here have good skin tone and shadow detail, while the overall image has a nice bokeh and background exposure. It's the same with selfie photos too. But I think the biggest improvement with the Galaxy A53 is low light photography. As you can see, it can capture some good nighttime photos, and this time around, night mode does not take too much time to process the shot either. So I'm guessing that the Exynos 1280 has a superior image signal processor compared to ones from MediaTek and Qualcomm. So yeah, the Galaxy A53 is definitely a pretty decent mid-range camera phone for photos. But for videos, I think Samsung has deliberately made it look inferior. Companies often do this to differentiate it from their flagship phones, and sadly the Galaxy A53 is the victim of this culture. Here, both 4K 30 FPS and 1080p 60 FPS videos don't have stable results despite the phone's primary camera featuring OIS, whose primary task is to stabilize videos. And when using the super steady mode, it caps out at 1080p 30 FPS and the overall video quality just looks ghastly. So this brings us to the end of this video. Overall, I think it's going to be interesting to see at what price Samsung launches this phone here in the South Asian region. If it's priced below 30,000 Indian rupees, I think it will be an incredible value. But higher than that, you get to consider other options like the iQOO 9 SE and the upcoming OnePlus Nord 3. Anyway, before I give you my solid judgment about the Galaxy A53, I will be using this phone alongside the iQOO 9 SE, which I have just bought in for review. And once the official prices of the Galaxy A53 are revealed, I will be sharing all my experiences with the phone in my full review. So do watch out for that. And if you have any questions regarding the Galaxy A53, feel free to leave a comment down below. Saying this, I am Pratima and I will see you soon.